What is going on, my super sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today we're talking about the power scaling thing once again, just because, well, there's just so much confusion. And in fact, after speaking to Ken, which, by the way, shout out to Ken. Ken Sairo is going to be a guest in today's video as well, alongside with Geekdom. Even the Japanese Dragon Ball fans are discussing this, which he'll bring up later in this video. So, going back to 2 episodes ago, when Lavenda and Gohan fought, the Grand Priest reveals that the Omni King has a scale for every single universe. And basically he said that universe 1, 5, 8, and 12 are amongst the top, and everybody else is in the lowest, including universe 7 and universe 9 at the bottom of the bottom. That's how universe 7 and 9 were fighting in this exhibition match. And a lot of people are kind of confused whether or not this means that they're based on power or if they're based on quality of life, and it's just very, very confusing. However, once again, I made a video with this with Geekdom a couple days ago, as well as himself. He made a video as well about it. There's a lot of hard evidence that says this is based on the quality of life of the mortals in those universes. Again, using the same analogy that I said in my last video, picture the Omni King running 12 factories. If the factories are underperforming, what do? You shut them down, and you focus on your better ones. Now, in the past, there were 18 universes to which the Omni King deleted out of nowhere, and it was never explained why, but you could probably say that the reason why they were destroyed was because they were quote-unquote underperforming. And that's just what you do when it comes to business. The way the god hierarchy works is you got the Omni King, who's there to create universes and destroy them. Inside the universes themselves, you got the Hakaishin and the Supreme Kais to basically kind of guide and destroy. You got the Supreme Kais there to actually create life and kind of guide the mortals into the better direction, whereas the Hakaishin, or the gods of destruction, are there to basically destroy and kind of clean up the dirt to make the universe overall a nice place to live. However, they don't necessarily always work together in the correct way. For example, Universe 9 is amongst the lowest, and as you guys saw in the last couple episodes, the Universe 9 Supreme Kai, he sucks. He's just so vile and disgusting. He's not really the person that you would want to invite to do videos with you, for example. Like, I would never make a video with Ro from Universe 9 because he's kind of an asshole. And now on his right side, his God of Destruction that works with him is Sidra, and Sidra just seems like he's very indecisive. That's a really bad pair of gods to basically overlook a universe. With that said, Universe 9 is a terrible place to live. It sucks. That's why it's amongst the lowest of low. Now, using Universe 7 example because we know it, you got Beerus, who sleeps a lot, destroys based on his temper, and he's just lazy. Let's be real. He's just a lazy god. Whereas the Supreme Kai, who's very inexperienced, and he kind of just wants to let the mortals work on their own. Like, again, a really bad pair. And again, looking at it, they're the reason why Universe 7 isn't that well. And again, they bickered about this last episode. Now, before we talk about the same thing we talked about before, Geekdom, what happened in the last episode?
If you're referring to the I guess what I was calling the checkmate line, it's in the episode they pretty much stated, they said, and this is legit from the subtitle version, it says, having a high mortal level means our godly guidance was good. Nothing at all to do with power whatsoever. We covered it in the last video. It's entirely based upon how they're guiding their mortals to live, I suppose, positive, influential lives. We don't really know the details, which is why there's confusion, which is why if you're out there and you are confused, I don't blame you at all, but understand that there are clues given to us in the show that tell us this is not about power. And people were saying that, this pretty much means that Universe 5, 8, 1, and 12 are the strongest, and that's not the case at all. High mortal level has nothing to do with strength, and it's right there said in Dragon Ball Super Episode 81, having a high mortal level means our godly guidance was good. That, to me, is enough evidence, but there's also other evidence.
Lots of evidence. And actually, going off of that, in the previous episode, it's exactly the same thing that Beerus and Supreme Kai were bickering about. Beerus says, this is your fault. You always take the backseat, say it's pointless unless the mortals develop their plans on your own. And then to which Supreme Kai responds, well, you're the one who's always asleep all the time. Like, this is how this works. And somebody else I saw, they tweeted me and they mentioned how, well, Supreme Kai did train Gohan. Gohan was like the first mortal, first Ningen that stepped foot on the Supreme Kai planet ever. So no, that's not the case. They don't train. But again, this is all stuff that we talked about already in the past. And one reason why I brought Ken here is Ken can actually break down stuff better in the weekend because he speaks Japanese. Now, something else that I wanted to address was it was mentioned at the Spanish subtitles by our good friend Oppai Senpai. Big shout out to Oppai Senpai. He mentioned how in the Spanish subs they actually refer to it as power. Now, Ken, do you want to say the exact line that was mentioned when the Grand Priest talked about the mortal rank level?
Yes, hello. And when the Grand Priest was telling us about this mortal level thing, exactly he said, Zeno sama wa ningen reber saite rank no monotachi ga kono yoni subarashi tatakai o okonate kureta koto ni. And
yes, I'd love a sandwich.
Yes, so basically the problem here is that the words used for rank and level are in katakana, so the translator gets in a bit of a trouble, you can say, because he cannot translate them. Most of the time katakana is supposed to be left as it is, so if it says ningen rever, then it has to be mortal level. He cannot translate that to anything else. A good example for this is Goku Black. It was Goku Black. It was also in katakana, Goku Black. So we cannot translate that into anything else like Dark Goku or something else, because it was...
Yeah, you can't call him Goku Negro, which is will be the Spanish version. That's why they call him Goku Black.
Yes,
in the Spanish version they call him Goku Black, yeah.
Yeah, so you cannot translate that into something else. If it was Goku Kuro, Kuro is the Japanese for black, then yes, you can translate into Dark Goku or something else. But if it says black in katakana, then it has to stay like that most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. So yeah, that is the main reason people are confused with this line. And also, if there were no English subtitles and there were no Spanish subtitles, there were nothing, people would still be confused even if they were perfect in Japanese. Even though it's not like specifically said that this is not based on power, people would still be confused.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's one of those things where this is one of those lost in translation type things that are just going to get lost, and as time goes on. But that's why what we have to do is analyze the clues that the show gives us beyond just that one line. You know what I mean? That's true. I mean, it's pretty much how it is.
Yeah, and another thing that we want to actually bring up is we're going to go back to the Goku Black arc. Actually, Ken has a good theory about that in regards to the Barbarians. Is that what their name was? Do you want to toss out that theory? What they refer to them?
Yes, so basically when Govas and Zamasu were talking about the time rings, Govas saw a race of these creatures, which he said that they were kind of like humans. The subtitle said humans, but like they were similar to mortals. That was basically Govas doing his job. He was looking down at mortals, he was seeing what they do and where their civilization is led. And then Zamas said that they should destroy them. Then they went, using the time ring, they went 1,000 years in the future to see how this race ended up. So all of this was basically Govas doing his job. And what he was doing was base how good that race is on their intelligence and on their level of civilization, like how their culture was. Was it aggressive? Was it very peaceful? Like that. So Zeno-sama, when he ranks all of these universes, they're probably also based on the same thing.
And the most obvious one I want to toss out there is, again, now they're doing this thing called the Tournament of Power, and obviously it's to test the power of the universes. Number one, first of all, they're testing out the power of the universes. Two, if the lowest ranking, let's say this is power scale based. Again, I said this in my last video, I'll say it again. If this tournament is power scale based, why would you exclude the strongest? If the quote-unquote weakest universes, which is universe 7 and 9, entertain the Omni Kings that much, why would you not want to see what the best of the best are made out of? Now you could argue, well, you don't want to destroy them, but that's fine. They can still participate, just don't destroy them. The point is
that's right.
Yeah, like if you wanted to exempt them from being destroyed, that's fine, but you would still want to see their power and see what they're made out of if they are the best. Again, it's just there's so much evidence out there that says this is about the quality of life. And again, I like my analogy of Omni King is running 12 factories, and he wants to cut down the factories because they're wasting money, they're wasting time, they're not really putting out efficient products, and that's exactly what he's going to do here. Remember, he was going to do this anyways. They already plan on destroying universes. It's just the fact that they brought up this tournament, which gave them an excuse to kind of make it more interesting. Now, one last thing I want to mention before we end this video is the reaction. Geekdom, what happened when Goku went Super Saiyan Blue? What kind of reaction did he get?
I thought that was going to be a whole different topic, but yeah, a lot of the people there were very shocked at that, and it looked like a couple of them were actually kind of intimidated by Goku in that form, which tells me that again, it doesn't make sense for Bergamo to have said. It's in the episode. He tells everybody that he's lower ranked than me, or whatever. We're lower ranked than him, or whatever. He says he's lower ranked than me, which is why blah blah blah, trying to instigate the crowd to turn on him. When the fight proved that Goku won the fight, so Goku cannot be lower class than him whatsoever. But he's saying that he is. Again, there's just too much evidence to suggest that it's not power based. You know what I mean? In other words, if there's no concrete 100% like explanation of what a mortal level is, but when you read between the lines and you look at everything that the series has given us, plus don't forget the I guess debate or whatever between Kaioshin and Beerus, where they're blaming each other for this, and nowhere in there do they ever state, you should have trained them to be stronger. That's not in there at all. Like there's nothing at all about power except for just people assuming it's about power. There's nothing in there at all suggested.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's called a tournament of power because it's a cool name. It doesn't mean it's about the strongest. You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
And honestly, again, what I think is going to happen to the end of this is the tournament will be so entertaining that Omnicade
they'll do more. They'll do another one.
Yeah, they won't destroy anything. Instead, they'll just do it as like an annual thing. Like every year, we get together, have a little friendly match between universes. It's going to keep the Omnicades entertained, and they're not going to destroy anybody. And then this is actually a win-win for everybody. The other thing I'll mention again, because I want to have all this information in one video, and I said this in the last video. The other thing you have to look at is let's look at the universes that are at hand. So Universe 7 was a terrible place to live in. You had Frieza.
Yeah, you had Frieza running around. You had Boo running around at one time.
Boo. Yeah, it was a terrible place
Universe
to live.
6, you had an Earth that was corrupted by Civil War, and you got Frost, and you got Assassins. They weren't that much better either.
At the same time, Universe 6 is better than 7 because they had good Saiyans. And even though Frost was an ass, he was still, doing good, kind of. He was starting wars just to end them. He didn't have Frost is no Frieza. Frieza is a dick. Frost is just a businessman. He's basically, your average businessman.
He's a dick, too.
Yeah. And then you got the other universes which we don't have any information on, but I guarantee you, Universe 5, 8, 1, 12, they didn't have a Frieza. They didn't have the Saiyans. They didn't have any of that because they guided their mortals to develop a lot better and not be assholes, basically. So they had the proper influencers in their life. Let's just say that. Whereas all the other universes are like, whatever. So, I mean, obviously we'll get more information about this as this arc airs, but again, I just kind of want to get all the evidence in one video, including the most recent information that came out this past weekend, and hopefully, not this weekend because we're skipping this weekend, but a weekend after that when Super comes back, I hope that they add more confirmation because there's just so many people that are in the comments on Twitter, on social media, on forums, they're saying this is power-based, and it just doesn't make any sense. And
there's more evidence against it than for it.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
like even in the latest episode, like if you look closely to Bergamo's speech, he says that that he is from the lowest ranking universe according to Zeno-sama. Then he points at Goku and says that even though I'm from the lowest ranking universe, but this particular guy's level is below our universe's average level. Then he says, people have missed this maybe, but then he says that this guy is an idiot, and if it wasn't for his wish, we would have been living in peace.
I pointed that out too.
Yeah, we would have been living in peace. Then he says that this guy is an idiot who doesn't think. So yeah, if intelligence didn't have anything to do with it, why would he say that? Because intelligence, just like Govas was doing, he was like judging the race based on their intelligence. Same way Bergamo was judging Goku on his intelligence.
With that said, that's all the evidence we want to put together into one video. So I guess let us know in the comment section below what you guys think. Are you still on the idea that this is power based, and if so, why? And if you're on the intelligence, side or the quality of life, then I guess let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. But overall, though, like I said, all we can really do at this point is watch more episodes and see what else gets revealed. I feel like they won't see anything else, but if they do, great. If not, well, all we have to do is basically talk about the current evidence. And again, there's more evidence pointing towards the fact that this is quality of life based than power, and it just, while we want it to be power based, it just doesn't make any sense. Again, remember, this is determinant of power. And if this tournament is supposed to have the best of the best, then why are the best not included when it comes down to power?
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, and that's the thing about Dragon Ball too, is that Dragon Ball is not always, and that's anything. They're not gonna spoon feed you everything, man. Sometimes you do have to like go in there and, you know, come to conclusions based on, you know, I guess taking the evidence that's presented to you. And that's really what a real theory is. You know, people say that, you know, I have a theory on this and that. Everybody has their theory, but really the right way to do a theory is to take the evidence that we have presented and to come up with the best conclusion. And even though power makes sense on the surface, there's so much other evidence there that's against it. It just, you know, Dragon Ball has always been about power, but that doesn't mean that they have to literally like make this particular fight about power.
Right.
It's like it's like God, the Omni King, who's God, is saying, okay, you know what? You 4 universes, you've done a good job. You've done what I've wanted you to do. You've treated everybody correctly. You know what? Don't even worry about it. Now, you guys, I'm going to take you out anyways, but entertain me by fighting, and the winner, I won't kill. Like it's basically God, Zeno, playing God. He's puppeteering the whole thing, which is not a good... People talk about how Goku might be a bad dude. Zeno might be a bad dude, bro. This guy just wipes out things without even thinking twice. You know?
With that said, we don't want to take up any more of your time. So just let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Again, thank you, Geekdom and Kensairo, for hopping on this video with me and breaking the stuff down. You know, and again, if there's more evidence that pops up, we'll talk about it more. But for now, there's the end of this debate, I think. Probably not, because debates never really end in Dragon Ball. Anyways, we hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. This has been Geekdom, Kensairo, and Rhymestyle, and we'll see you guys in the comment section below.